I want to give you 7 strategies that I know work. Hi, Annemiek. And I know that some of these strategies have worked for me, and some of these strategies I know are working super well for other entrepreneurs that I know that are using this as a way to support them as they're creating the income that's needed to build a business. Because, you know, as much as you can do a lot of things, you could do a lot of things without a budget or on a shoestring budget. Sometimes there's that little extra injection of cash that you need to be able to invest in that next step of growth going forward. So, Annemiek, please tag in some of our brand builders, certainly from the Netherlands, that are surrounding you, and let's see if we can get some more brand builders on the call, and some more entrepreneurs. Let's see how many people we can invite in to come play in this conversation. And you might well have some ideas as well around how to make more money doing things that you either love or that you're passionate about, that aren't necessarily the thing that you want to do long term, but it's something that you can still focus on doing as you grow. Now, very interestingly, just as I've sat down, my dog has decided that it's going to start destroying something, because I can hear it. Okay, Enya, come here. Thank you. Okay, we're good. Hi, Carol. How you doing? And my magnificent lady. Okay, let's get started. These 7 things that I'm going to share with you are, they're fairly easy. I really thought about this, and I thought, you know, there are things that I've done that that have enabled me to move forward, but there are also some things that I've seen other people do, and I thought, bloody hell, you know, if I ever got to a point where I needed some cash to invest in something, it's brilliant. I know how to do this and what to do. So the very first thing that I'll talk about, and this might seem like it's easier than normal, hello, Alicia, is to create a webinar. That might put the fear of what's it's up your what's it, but you know, delivering a webinar that really adds value to people is a great way, especially if you've got something that you can serve your clients with. Hi, Denise. You know, even if it's a physical product. So, for example, Denise and Michael Haney. Denise has just joined the call. If Michael's there, hello, hello, hello. And they create so many awesome things, but one of the things that they've started making lately are name plaques. I haven't got it with me because I've got it in my bedroom. I will have to show you. I'll have to get it another time and show you. You might have seen me. I posted it on social media. But they created me a wooden plaque that had my vision statement on it, and my target of how many members I wanted for the Brand Builders Club specifically. Now, could you do a webinar showing people a way of maybe you do a webinar and you could invite me and I could talk about vision, and then at the end of that you could say, you know, and here's a great way, and here are some of the things that we've done to take your vision and put it into a format that you could have it in front of you in your office, or like me, it's in front of me. When I wake up every morning, I see that vision, and so I'm stepping into it from the moment that I wake up. You know, and they've got key rings, they've done all kinds of stuff. So Denise, is that something that you could do? Yes, absolutely. Would you sell more of your product as a result of interviewing people who have skills and expertise that maybe you don't, but that fully complement what you're doing, that have got an outlet, have got a network, they've got people who follow them? You know, it would be pretty awesome to do that, right? You've got lots of key leaders of influence that you could interview about different topics that would end up on a plaque. So think about some of the conversations you could create in that way. Who else have we got? So Carol, you know, in terms of the mirroring magnificence, are there some things that you could do, that you could create a webinar on different topics that enable people to see the magnificence within themselves? Yes. You've already either written your book or you've written a lot of your book. So you could take even just one chapter. You could even break down one chapter into maybe 5 or 6 different weeks. And every week you could create a webinar that gets them focused on that. But you could be talking about different upserves. Maybe you've got a retreat that's coming up, or a workshop, or maybe, I know because Carol, you've got your massage table, you've got the other things that you do, that could be an upserve from having these webinars and enabling people to feel magnificent about themselves. Well, come and have a whole day's worth of treatments, or let's go to a spa. You book a spa, they pay whatever money, and of course you get paid for doing the treatments that you're doing. Maybe while they're relaxing, have a meeting in a hot tub. I suggested that to Trina when we had her one-to-one day. There are things that you can do that don't necessarily have to involve your skill, but can bring other people's skills into it so that it demonstrates your own skills. So webinars are a brilliant way of doing that, and they're very, very good. That's one of the best ways to earn cash quickly. So especially for those of you, you're entrepreneurs, you're business owners, you have something to sell. And if you don't have something to sell yet, take something that, even if it's not complete, take the part of it that could be made complete, so that you could jump on a webinar and upserve them to something else as a result of that. A lot of it, yeah, brilliant, Carol. So you finished a lot of your book. That there are different chapters that you could discuss. You could use it as topics. You could create all kinds of things around the stuff that you're already creating. So webinars are an absolutely awesome way of doing that. And just what I found, I don't know if you find this as well, but it's in the moments and the periods of my life where I've had the least resources that I've found that I've become the most resourceful. And so you step out of the fear factor, and you step into more of a place of creativity. Because especially when it's around money as well, if there's a lack of funds or there's a lack of resources, it can feel suffocating, can't it? It can feel like your state completely changes. And when you get into that fear mindset, it can be quite challenging to get back out of that. So what I've definitely found is that in those periods where I feel like I want to retreat, actually the best thing to do is to put yourself out there and help others. Because by helping others, you're actually helping yourself. By helping others, they're going to tell you what pain they're in, and you can create solutions that solve the pain. By helping others, they're going to go out and tell others about what you do. So there's so many different layers to this, and that's just the first one. Of course, the second one, which can be used with the first, is joint ventures. There is somebody out there right now that has a whole list of your ideal clients, and they're already talking to them or communicating with them in some way, and they could be communicating about you. So how could you take what you provide, or come up with even one part of a solution, and present it to somebody who has your ideal clients in their list, and make a suggestion about how you can both benefit from that? I haven't even fully utilized the power of joint ventures, but when I have, I've met you. Carol, you and I wouldn't even be on this call together. We wouldn't even know each other if it weren't for Trish and Nancy of the Women's Prosperity Network, and Susan, who put on an amazing event last year that I happened to then be speaking at. And as a result of that, I was able to do the most amazing things and meet the most amazing people, including you. So joint ventures is another brilliant way of you being able to get your brand out there, but in a way that you can actually make money from it. So Carol, I challenge you. What do you already have in your book as a chapter that could be turned into a 3-part video series, or something that could be recorded over the next couple of days, that you could then go to other people's networks or other people with networks and say, I've created this. I know that it will add a huge amount of value to your members. I don't want to charge anything for it, but I would love to start building a relationship with you. Would you be prepared to share this within your network? Is there a way that we can collaborate together? Could I introduce you to my network? I have this brilliant X, Y, and Z that I can promote off the back of that, and we could go 50-50 on whatever we sell. So there's ways that you can make money straight away through joint ventures. You can now. And Denise, so for you and Michael, because you've got a physical output, exchanging time is it's easy and it's not. So exchanging time, if you're doing it one-to-one, is challenging. And when you're creating your plaques, that's exchanging time, because there's a physical element that you need to produce. It's not like you're going to get up and stand on a stage like I did with Trish and Nancy, getting up at the Young Conference. I spoke to, I don't know, 200 people were at the audience. Carol, you were one of them. I spoke to the audience, and as a result of that, I made an offer, and I think I came away with about 52 or something new customers so that was 25% of that audience then moved out of their seat to come over to the stand and invest in themselves in a ticket to come to my one-day event. So that it is exchanging time to a certain extent, but over the course of that weekend, I was on stage for an hour and came away with 52 new clients, 3 of which signed up immediately to the Brand Builders Club at $2,000 each. So, you know, you're not talking small money when you joint venture with other partners, you know, especially if you've got your products in place. Now, for those of you that are in the Brand Builders Club, if you go to the online learning center, I've already created several 5-step mini courses that help you to create products. John Paul created a 5-step mini course that's in there, which is all on how to create your own mini course. So Carol, even if you take one of your chapters, you could turn that into a mini course, and that could be something that you get in contact with other people and say, hey, I've got this 5-step mini course. I'd love to gift it to your members for free. I just want to build my brand and start building confidence and trust in what I do. Now, that's a tomorrow's money strategy. That isn't going to earn you money straight away. But if you've got something that you can sell immediately, you could go to them with the original pitch of having something that that doesn't cost anything to get that out to the network. But then once you got through the door with that, you can then start having conversations about other stuff that you can sell. I know I have great material with what I've written. I'm absolutely certain that you do. I'm absolutely certain that you do. And you could be getting that content out to people right now. You could be making sales right now, Carol. You know, and ultimately, you want a today's money and tomorrow's money strategy. In fact, in last week's Brand Breakthrough show, I covered the today's money and tomorrow's money strategy last week. So make sure, if you haven't watched it, go to our YouTube channel, which is just youtube.com/how-to-build-a-brand, and go and subscribe to that channel, because we're putting content up there all the time. I'm creating new things, new material, and all of our Brand Breakthrough shows go up into our YouTube channel now. So you can recap on any of the shows that I'm delivering here in this group, because it's not always easy to find them, is it? When you're searching in a Facebook group, you can't always find them. So joint ventures, guys and girls, that's a really, really great way of you being able to monetize. And especially if you've got a webinar, you can joint venture with other people to support with the promotion of the webinar. So you've got lots of people on that webinar. The third thing, and this might be something you considered, you might not have considered it, but I'm going to suggest Fiverr.com. Now, Fiverr, you might have used to get your own outsourcers. Okay, I'm going to come back to that, Carol. You might have used Fiverr for your own outsourcers in the past. You know, I've used Fiverr for tons of stuff. In fact, last week I went on Fiverr because I was looking for someone to do some, hi Richard, I was looking for somebody to do my keyword research for me. And so I went on to Fiverr.com, and I bought a package just to do this keyword research so that I could start thinking about the content strategy for next year. And I always build it around what people are searching for. I don't make up what I'm doing. I don't think, I wonder what I could be creating content on. I do my keyword research. I find out, what are people actually searching for in black and white? What are they searching for to find the solution to what I do, to what I solve, right? And so I love that. Greatness. Awesome. Takes one to know one. And so I went onto Fiverr, and I think it worked out to about £12, which maybe $15, to get this keyword research done. And it came back, I had nearly 1,000 keywords back around keyword search terms that, like, it's so easy for me now to go, okay, well, that's the, you know, I can now group those into what are the highest search terms, hi Greg, that people are looking for to find what I provide. So now I'm able to create better content strategies, and I can create courses, I can create my books, I can create my workshops, I can create my events, my retreats. You get the picture, right? So I can create everything that I'm doing all around those topics that I found. Hi, Siraj. And there are lots of people on Fiverr that do lots of things. In fact, you could pretty much guarantee if there's something that you need, you can probably find something or something like it on Fiverr.com. But Fiverr isn't what it used to be. Fiverr used to be $5, right? You'd pay $5 and it's $5 for a gig. But now there are people who are charging hundreds of dollars. I saw one the other day as I was looking for the keyword research person that they would do the keyword research, they'd optimize your YouTube channel, they'd go through your website, they'd optimize your website, they'd do all this stuff, and it was something like $600. So Fiverr.com isn't what it used to be. Oh, thank you, Siraj. It isn't what it used to be. You can put really good money, value, services on Fiverr.com now. Friend of mine, I won't name them, but it's somebody from The Secret. They do voiceover work, and they advertise the voiceover work on Fiverr. And seriously, he has so much business. He's constantly, and he fits it around the stuff that he's already doing anyway. So he could be doing whatever he's doing. It could be like, I don't know, on stage. He comes off stage. He goes, he does this voiceover work. He sends it off. He gets paid. He goes and does something else. So while he's in the middle of doing the stuff that he's doing anyway, he's doing voiceover work. That's his thing because he has an amazing voice, right? But you will have other assets other than the things that you're doing that can be turned into Fiverr type gigs. And you don't just get paid a Fiverr. The more you can automate something that you put on Fiverr, excellent. Richard, for example, you could do, you could create, how to get started as a chiropractor. Right? I mean, something really simple like that. You could create that content blindfolded, but or marketing for chiropractors. You might create something that is digital, that as soon as somebody orders it, you're going to get an order, and you can just literally send it straight back to them within 3 days. There are things you can create that other people are looking for. So jobs testing websites, yep. There are all kinds of things that you can do. I had another friend that creates like graphics for social media and things like that. But you basically, you go on, you say, I want social media graphics, but when you click on it, it will say social media graphics, $5 for this, or $50 for this package, or $250 for this package. And if you're catching people that are, your ideal customer, they're going to click on that at the highest level. So you don't have to sell things at $5. So just think about what you could do that you could offer on Fiverr.com, where Fiverr is doing all of the marketing for you. You don't have to do anything. All you've got to do is put your service on there and start getting orders, basically. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff you could do. You can find market research. You can be paid to go and comment on people's blogs, right? To go and to read someone's article and give them feedback on that article. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can get paid for on Fiverr, and they're things that you can fit around the stuff that you're doing anyway. Your son got some graphic design work on there. Absolutely, there's all kinds of things. Now, it might not be that you've got, you might not be a graphic designer, you might not be a web designer or whatever, but I'm sure you know how to, create some research or make some calls for someone, or, go and find some images, or create some Canva graphics for somebody's social media. I mean, there's all sorts of things you could do, and you could even outsource that. You could, I guess, you could put something out on Fiverr and offer that, and then at a higher price package, and then have somebody else on Fiverr do the pieces that you don't want to do. I mean, there's all sorts of ways that you can expand on how to create that income. But if you're wanting something you can do around other things, you want to provide something that's either digital or something that you know that you can deliver quickly, and that you can deliver and you can fit it around what you do. Pet sitting is another thing. I know these are totally random, off the wall things, but you know, when you need money and you're setting up a business, you want to create that income, but doing things that don't take you a lot of time to do. Well, pet sitting is brilliant because you're either going to someone else's home to look after their pets in their home, so you're not paying any gas, any electric, or you're not paying any of those things at home while you're in someone else's home. Most of the time they will fill the fridge for you as well. You can do all kinds of, they'll make sure at least you've got tea and coffee, and you've got a place to stay, you've got heat and light, you've got all those things. Or you could have their pet stay at your house. Well, I mean, I was paying 20 euros a day for someone to stay at my house, and there were times where I was away for a whole month. You might not want to be away from your home for a month, but even if it's a week, 2 weeks, if that's £20 a day, then you've got £20 a day for doing nothing other than what you would do anyway, and have their pet at your house, or you go to their house. Annemiek, problems with the internet. Love to say, oh, you've got a problem with the internet. I thought you were saying there might be problems with the internet when you go and stay at someone else's house. If you've got data roaming, there will never be a problem in finding internet. So yeah, I mean, I've had to live like that for the last 4 years. So in different parts of the world. And even so, like even if you were staying at someone's house and they had terrible internet, there's always a pub up the road or an internet cafe, or there's always somewhere you can go. So, just think about that, right? Having somebody else's pet stay at your house for an extra 20 quid a day. If they're away for 2 weeks, you've just bagged yourself a bunch of money. And you haven't even had to do anything differently, really. Hi, Camilla. And, and on top of that, maybe a few extra walks would do you good to get away from, trying to solve problems all the time. So pet sitting is a brilliant way of you being able to earn that extra income. Photography is another one. Having, especially if you're great, if you take some great shots of photography, you might even have some photography, hi Amanda, on your phone already. Well, there are resources like iStock Photo, Big Stock Photo, Shutterstock. There are resources that you can get paid for your photography. So if it's something that's a hobby for you anyway, it might not be a hobby for you, but if it's something that is a hobby for you, then start getting paid for your hobby. Again, if it's something you enjoy doing, it doesn't matter if it's not anything related to what you do. Hi, Mary Francis. If it's something that you actually enjoy doing, then you can make some money at it, even if it's not the core business that you really want to build. This is something that you can use to funnel that money into the thing that you do want to do, and that way you can do stuff that isn't necessarily long term, but you enjoy it and you can handle it. The other solution, or the other alternative to that, is if you know someone that is a great photographer that's not getting their work onto these resources, maybe you can go 50-50. You could joint venture on getting their work, so they haven't got time to get it up there. Well, you get that work up there. Other people might have stuff to sell on eBay. Go to their house, take the stuff, do a 50-50. Whatever's sold, you get 50% of it. You're selling someone else's stuff. There are ways that you can really, just get creative. Get creative about how you can support someone else to do it if you haven't got it to do. Carol, I pay a ton for my in-house pet sitter. Exactly. But what if you had one extra animal? If you've got animals and they could get on with somebody else's animal, one more animal at £20 a day, $20, $25, $30 a day. I know that if I were to put my animals, we've got 8 animals. If I put 8 animals into the kennels, they would charge me £20 each. So having a pet sitter come to my house is so much more affordable to do that. Even if I paid a pet sitter £50 a day, it would still be cheaper than if I had to put them into a kennel. So, just think about you know, dog walking. You could even do dog walking. You wouldn't even need to have an animal in your house or go to someone else's house. You might be able to get paid just to walk someone's dog, and you can be thinking about your business at the same time that you're doing that. I mean, there are just so many ways that you don't have to be the most intelligent or creative or any of those things. You know, there are things that you can do that you don't even need to think, so it gives you the brain space to be able to think about your own stuff while you're doing these other things. So we were just talking about photography. At Airbnb, if you have a spare room, there's the option of Airbnb. My mum, she rents out a couple of she has holiday cottages and she rents that out, but at certain times she's rented out, like my bedroom at home in her house, she's rented my room out. She's rented the twin room out. My brother's room. So, you know, there are things that you can do again, and depending on how much money you want, you could go and stay with your parents or with a friend, and somebody rent your whole place out for a week. If they're coming into town and they need somewhere to stay, you could rent your whole place out to that person, and they're effectively paying your whole rent for 1 week. So, you know, again, there are ways that you can make sure that you're earning money, and you know, even if you did that once a month, you'd have that extra income. You wouldn't even need to do it all the time. There might only be certain times that you would make your property available to be able to do that. But it's an option. You don't have to have a lodger full time if you can put up with having a guest in your house for a couple of days. You know, people that are coming into Calgary, people that are coming into London, into Florida. Wherever you live, there's probably someone that's trying to go and stay near a relative, or, you know, especially if you live near a hospital, or you're somewhere that's local to something that people are going to want to go to. It's a good selling point, and an easy way for you to make money, because, well, you're not having to do anything that much differently to make space for that to happen. And finally, because this is a short and sweet one today, finally, there's another option, which is an option that I would always look to, and that is that when you exchange your time one-to-one, it's not as effective as exchanging it one-to-many. We all know that. But if, like Mary Frances and myself, you put on a retreat, it's a way of you delivering what you do one-to-many, but doing it in a way that you don't have to hire offices or any of those things. You can go to places around the world that you want to see and be paid to go to them. You know, when I ran Master Your Message Mastermind, I don't run it anymore. My last one was in September, but that was £5,000 per person, and I always had a minimum of 6 people at my Master Your Message Mastermind retreats. I ran it 4 times a year. There were specific outcomes that all of my clients would go away with, and they're all still masterminding with each other. They're all still creating results even after they've been. You know, I've run them in different parts of the world. I ran a retreat in the Dominican Republic in February, and I took 5 people to the Dominican Republic, plus my husband 6, because he was also working on his stuff while he was there. So you know, you might not be charging £5,000 a person, but Carol, I mentioned at the beginning of this training, what if you were to you know, go to a beauty spa, you know, and train people on amazing things whilst you're all sat in a hot tub drinking champagne. You know, I mean, there's things that you could do. You might make just a 50% markup on that first one. You might only have 6 people, so you put it out to 6 people and say, hey, you know, I'm looking for 6 women who want to go and feel absolutely magnificent for the day. Here's what we're going to do. In the morning, you're going to be picked up by a limousine. You'll be chauffeured to such and such spa. You'll receive a glass of champagne on arrival. And what we're going to do a session in the hot tub. So we're gonna do a session in the hot tub, and after that we're gonna go for lunch and we're going to have treatment. So I've got 4 therapists that are all going to come along, and they're going to absolutely spoil you for the day. Once you've had a massage, you're going to get your hair done. And whilst you're getting your hair done, I'm going to be educating you on some of the things that could really bring out that magnificence that's in you. And once you've had your hair done, we're then going to, you've had your massage and you've had your hair done, we're then going to go and do a photo shoot. So, you know, that could be a boudoir photo shoot. So you feel absolutely flipping magnificent, fantastic, the dog's what's-its, and you're going to come away from that not only feeling beautiful on the outside, but you are going to be glowing from the inside out. Because whilst all this stuff is happening on the outside, we're going to be working on the inside. We're going to be working on your thoughts, and you could even bring somebody else in that could talk about mindset or whatever. You know, that package, it's $997 for the day. And oh, and by the way, as a special bonus, I've also hired a suite at the hotel, and we're going to have a movie night or something. I don't know. Or we're going to go to a restaurant and we're going to have dinner. You know, it's like there are people that will buy the bigger packages to have that feeling. And we could all be done in a day, and you're getting paid by these people. Now, it might be that you might want to work with people who they might not have $1,000 immediately to invest in themselves. So there's 2 things really you could do. You could approach people that will have that money available and go and work with them, or you could do some kind of payment plan and say in 3 months' time, this is what we're going to do. You know, and I've got a payment plan. It's $300 a month for the next 3 months, and then we're going to go and we're going to do it. So you've got time to save up, and in between, over the every week leading up to when we go, I'm going to deliver a learning point on Zoom, and when we get there, you're going to already have started to make shifts in your life, and that's going to have shifts positively on your relationships and in every area of what you do. And then we're going to do the grand finale. So we're going to get to the spa and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm making all of this up on the spot. But if you really get creative about what you could do, people will pay you to feel freaking awesome, right? So, but you could do it as a group, so you're not just doing it one-to-one. Now you've multiplied the amount of income that you can make from just delivering one day's work. I say just delivering one day's work. Obviously, there's time that you need to prepare for that. But in total, maybe you could spend 3 days. 2 of those days is the organisation of it, realistically. And then 1 day, so you've got 1 day that's probably going to be selling it. You've got 2 days of organising it and making sure that everything's come together. But the place you go to, the more that they have it all done for you, the less organisation you've got to do. And then you get there and you deliver the day. Now, when you're at the day, you can upserve something else. Or how would you like to feel like this 4 times a year? Let's do this again next quarter. And now you've got predictable income. You've got some cash flow. You're only doing it 4 times a year, so once every quarter. I mean, like, this is a perfect opportunity for you to start monetizing in other ways to contribute to you doing the very thing that you actually want to do. So let me just come up here. I know there was a question. Brilliant. Okay, Amanda, this is my photographer. Awesome. Love collaborating. Found a new app called Steady that has all kinds of jobs. Excellent. There was a question that I got. Okay, Carol, before I do my website right, I have to have my magnificent space. Okay. What do you mean by that, Carol? Do you mean as in you need your logo and your branding, you need a face for your business? Or are you saying that before you create a video, you need to look great? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. So if you could answer that while we just kind of start to wrap up, that would be great, and I can respond to you right now live while we're on the call. Okay, Amanda, I need to start running pampering sessions for the mums who attend my classes for their children. Oh my goodness, yes. Or at least while you're there, offer a pampering session for them minus the children. And again, you know, take them away, get them doing something, collaborate with somebody like Trina. So, you know, have the fitness aspect in there, or collaborate with one of our other Brand Builders Club members that does beauty, or, I mean, there's so many people that you could partner with within the Brand Builders Club that would just, you know, together you can make the most extraordinary difference. Yeah, just think about who you already have around you that can do that. Exactly. No children allowed. I'm sure they will love that. And the thing is, you've got a captive audience, and it's the best time to sell it to them, because while they're there pulling their hair out because they've taken however long to organise this amazing party that you've come to deliver at, they're probably well in need by a pampering session by then. I've done a spa party at a hotel in the past. Excellent. Well, you know, it's fairly easy money, right? Because you can attract people that you're already working with. You know, Mary Frances, I know that you've delivered masterminds, you've done all kinds of things that in the past that, you know, you don't necessarily have to reignite them, but you know that those people trust you so much that when you make a decision and when you say, hey, I'm thinking of doing this, you've got a solid group of people that will say, yep, sure, here's my money. You know that you can do that. You know, I mean, what could you do? You want to come over to London in December. What could you do to create that income? You already know people in the UK. Could you organise to do something in the UK with our UK people when you come over? It makes sense. You could do business over here while you're here. Carol, you could definitely do that. Exactly. What fabulous ideas with health and wellness products. Love to work with someone. Brilliant. There you go, Suraj. I just love these calls. So much brilliance coming there. We don't need millions of people to be sat with us for us to have brilliant ideas and start connecting and start getting shit done, right? Amanda, I also have a huge nanny network who attend my classes with children. Okay, brilliant. There are just so many things that you could do on top of the stuff that you're doing anyway. I mean, it's unbelievable. When you start getting really creative, when you start thinking, okay, what could I do? How could I collaborate? And more importantly, who could I collaborate with? I think this is something that, there was something that Jane Mallion said at our Members Day, and I've probably said it on one of these calls before, but I'll repeat it because it really made an impact on me. And she said something like, in fact, some of you were here when she said that, you were there. She said something like, when you're trying to think, oh, what could I do? Or how can I do this? Oh, I just don't know how. Just change those 3 letters from how to who, because there will always be somebody that can shift this around for you. There'll always be somebody that is the one, that is the person that can support you. Hi, Simon. And that can really move you forward. Oh, Carol, brilliant. I'm so pleased. You know, it's funny, I was having a conversation with Laura Moody earlier, did her Hour of Power Brand Builders Club call. And I was saying to her, because obviously I had some stuff happen. Hi, Barbara. Auntie Barbara's on the call. You know, was at a funeral, a very sad funeral on Friday of my nephew. In fact, Barbara was there, and you know, and it was really, really sad. And I got back from this weekend, and it was like it was one of those weekends that was just the most emotionally intense periods. You know, and you've kind of got, you know, my Friday, my 7-year-old, you know, oh gosh, my 7-year-old nephew was electrocuted about 2 months ago, and it's taken all this time to get to the point that we could actually have the funeral. And so, you know, there's all kinds of stuff that was going through my head, and, you know, he's 7 years old and he's died before he should, and, you know, there's all kinds of stuff that comes up. And then the next day, I then go to my other nieces and nephews. Thank you, darling. I go to my other nieces and nephews, and I'm like, okay, so I can't change anything about the time that I didn't spend with Harvey, but I can change the time that I spend with the people that are still living. And so Greg and I then took the kids out and we went and had a mad day at a farm, and we went to see the animals, and we played in the indoor shooting pools and things like that, you know, and we had an amazing day. And it was exhausting because I hadn't got over what had happened the day before. And then on the Sunday it was Mum's birthday, so she's over from France, and we then all went and had a massive family meal, and we all, you know, spent time. And again, my nieces and nephews were there. It was so gorgeous to spend time with them, but didn't have any time for ourselves. And so even now I still feel exhausted from the weekend. I haven't dealt with it, I haven't coped with it. And today I woke up and I thought, I could just do with a day off. I really, really could do with a day off. But there were 2 calls with Brand Builders Club members that were booked into my diary. And if I've got something booked, I'm going to be there. And I thought, as much as I don't feel like getting up today, as much as I would love to just lay here and just, I don't know, be lazy. But to be honest, even if I'd have done that, my brain would have been going and I'd have been up anyway. But, you know, I thought to myself, no, I need to get up, because for every moment that I'm not in flow, for every moment that I'm not up and supporting somebody else, I'm going backwards. So by helping others, I am going forwards. And I had the call with Laura, and at the end of the call, Laura said, "Oh my God, I really needed this today. Thank you." And then I got a text from somebody else that said, "Oh, Sammy, thank you for sending me over whatever it was. I've just achieved this, and I couldn't have done that without you." And then I had the other call just before I came on this, about an hour before, and she said, "Wow, I mean, this has been amazing. I could not have done this without you." And actually, I already started using some of the stuff, because she's been through the 7-step Kickstarter that we do in the Brand Builders Club, and as a result of that, she's already been turning customers down, and she saved herself a load of time and communicated really effectively with this person in a way that she hadn't done before. And hearing that was like, it's really important that I show up. And so, if nothing else, if I can just give you one parting gift, is that there are going to be times where you don't feel like showing up. There are going to be times where the resources aren't there, where money isn't flowing, where shit is happening in life, where really bad things are happening to really good people or animals, and it affects you. And things are happening all around the world right now that they're going on for someone else, and yet we turn up on social media and we look great and we put our makeup on and everything's perfect, and you know, things aren't freaking perfect. They're not perfect. But when you show up for someone else, and when you can shine for someone else, I promise you, your shine will start to come back. Because I am so pleased. Oh, it's my dad. Hi, Martin. Everybody say hi, Martin. I'm so pleased that I showed up here today, because just for Carol saying, "I needed this today," that helped me. So, you know, it just, you know, a lot of the times you're hearing from other people when they're moaning about something, or they're complaining, or they're saying about something you didn't do. And we can get caught up on that. But what about all the things that you do? What about the things that you do achieve? And sometimes people don't say thank you for those things, but they are grateful. It doesn't mean they're not blessed for you showing up and being in their life and being a major part of that. My dad, who's on the call right now, you know, I'm so blessed. My life could have been such a different way, and it wasn't. My life was amazing because of the amazing parents that I have, and I appreciate not everybody has that. But we do have things that we can give to others, and we do have gifts inside of us that we're able to turn into something that someone will want to pay for, because they don't want to go through it. They don't want to go through those same things that you've gone through. They don't want to take the long journey when they could take a shortcut without cutting corners. And you are such a gift. You're such a gift. And there are millions of people out there right now that when you show up will be saying, "I needed that today." Thank you, Siraj. Just going to come up here for some of the comments. Oh, yeah, Barbara. Yes, there were lots of reuniting things. And this is just what you were looking for, Suraj. I'm really, really pleased. I am delighted that I was able to show up and shine for you today. So think about how you can show up and shine for other people over this next 7 days between now and when I see you next week at the same time. Feel gifted that you're in my life. Thank you, Suraj. I feel the same way. And for those of you that haven't booked your ticket to the conference in December, the Vision, Voice and Visibility Conference, there are just a few tickets left, and we're going to close the tickets soon. All of the awards sponsorships are going to go live. Look out for those. It's very exciting. Maybe you've been nominated for an award, and just, you know, be the brand that you want to see in the world, and just keep shining. Mwah! Sending you loads of love, and I'll see you in the group.